Hello.
Good evening.
Evening.
Welcome to Finnegan's.
How are you doing? Cheers, Tom.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
On this Wednesday evening.
Good to have you in with us.
Great to have you with us.
Yes, in our secret location.
Secret location.
Rural location, in case you can hear birds singing.
We could hear the birds tweeting.
Because it was such a tranquil,
peaceful,
occasion. Yes,
peaceful evening.
Yes, so we might just be mellow tonight. What do you think, Tom?
We might be mellow because we've been working hard today.
You have, yeah. You have.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
We will.
Wednesday night at Finnegan's. You're very welcome. We just thought, my name's Tom.
My name's Alan.
And we're both ministers at a Baptist church in North Liverpool. Why does that always make you laugh?
Because I still can't believe it. Still can't believe we're blagging it, lad. When are they going to rumble us?
Not yet. It's not happened yet, has it?
No, it hasn't happened yet. No. Still doing it. No, so.
And so basically the idea of Wednesday night at Finnegan's is each week we meet, we gather our little group of what we're, affectionately calling nuggets.
Oh, nuggets, yeah.
Our regulars, and we have a chat for the evening. We play some games. We have some banter. We should talk a little bit about our faith.
Yeah.
In hopefully a relevant way that people can connect with.
Yeah.
And so you're welcome. It's great to have you here.
I mean, this is the vehicle that will get us sacked one day. But there you go.
It is. But we are...
You need to be there when that happens, because that'll be dead funny, won't it?
It could be tonight. It could happen tonight.
I mean, are we going to talk about the fact that we're not on YouTube?
This has been a bit traumatic for us this week.
Let's start with the Saturday morning bit where we thought we'd gone.
Yeah, okay. So Saturday morning, just if you're arriving in now, you're very welcome. Come join us. Say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Saturday morning, I woke up and obviously we've worked hard to, gain followers on our YouTube channel. We begged the first 100 people to come and follow us.
We did. Got a bit of stick for that.
We got a bit of stick for begging people to follow us, but I'm not beyond begging.
No.
And so we got over 100, and we worked our way up to about 133.
Oh, we're smashing it.
So we were flying.
Yeah.
But Saturday morning, I wake up, phone's pinging.
Oh, wow.
Pinging, just going crazy.
And remember you text me and says, Alan.
Yeah, it's happening.
We're going viral.
It's happening. We're going viral again. After our TikTok, 12,500, 14,000 now.
14,000, yeah.
Basically, I woke up anyway on a Saturday morning, phone pinging. I looked. We gained 1,000 followers. 1,000 followers. We were now at 1,132.
Wow.
And
amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But what I also noticed was someone had posted 50-odd videos to our account in quick succession. And I thought, that's not me. And
it certainly wasn't me.
Definitely not Alan, because he doesn't work out I
don't even know how to do it
yet.
Yeah.
And so I looked, and I hate to tell you, but it was dodgy videos.
Yeah, so if you're watching tonight, one of our new 1,000 followers,
we
might have more clothes on than you expected. But, you're still welcome. You're probably switching off right now.
You may well be a little bit disappointed. It's not quite what you were
I was going to take my top off, but Tom wouldn't let me.
So that's it. So anyway, so our YouTube, wrote to me fairly quickly to let me know that
we broke the rules.
We broke the rules, and they were permanently deleting our account. So
now we've got no YouTube channel.
So now we've got
no followers.
With no followers. So it's sad times, isn't it?
Yeah, times are tough.
So we're going out on the church YouTube tonight, and I've got to tell you, I'm really hoping...
So please don't hack that
someone doesn't hack this one, because that could be the thing that gets us sacked. That
might be the thing that gets us sacked, yeah. We get the church YouTube account hacked. That'd be fun.
Well,
it wouldn't be fun.
It wouldn't be fun. No. But anyway...
Because all the people who aren't watching this who are in church would be hugely offended.
They would be.
Yeah.
They would be. Last week was a cracking episode. I'm just going to throw that out there. Steve Cookson smashed it. And we're going to have Steve Cookson back again for a third. He might even be the first person back for a third time.
He's the first one back for the second time.
No, actually we had Mikey back. And Mikey's back next week to co-host while you're away.
We haven't had him back. We only had him back as a co-host.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not away next week.
Oh. Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to go away,
Okay. You're on a gig next week with Tony Vino.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
He knows me better than me.
And so Mikey's
Am I on a gig next week?
You are.
Where am I? Is that the one in Hempstead?
Yeah, that's the one.
Miles away.
It is.
It is miles away.
And you'll be driving while we'll be having fun in the bar.
Yeah.
And so Steve was brilliant. I thought he was really good. Just lots of stuff stood out, and he shared really well about his faith growing up in church, like the positives and negatives of being known as a Christian, you know, in the comedy world as well. He talked about his experience on the cruise ship recently, so it's well worth a watch. So you can get those not on YouTube currently, but you can get them elsewhere. So if you look at the link on our Facebook page, you'll find you can listen to those on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, all the places you get podcasts. You can find us, and so you can listen back to the episodes there. So Steve did a great job last week. We've got a fantastic evening planned for us. So coming up tonight, we've got my dad's in.
Whee! Bit of a round of applause would be good. Well, Tim's in.
Tim's in. Very good. That's it. He's there. There he is. So Dad's in. So we're going to say hello to Dad in a minute. So that's going to be great. We've also got Finnegan's Fortunes. Do you know what? There was controversy about Finnegan's Fortunes last week because
Tom can't do maths.
We basically had asked 100 people, but then when all the answers come up, the total number of people we'd asked was 110. So Steve was fuming.
He was fuming, but actually, he had a better chance because we asked more people.
Yes, that's true.
So he should be grateful.
He should have been buzzing. So, but we're going to redo Finnegan's Fortunes tonight with Dad. We've also got Tom's Top Tips, Alan's Awful Advice. We're going to see who, if Dad makes it to the wall. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Will Dad be welcome in the bar? We're going to find out later. He's going to tell a story, and we'll see if he ends up on the wall or not. Yeah. And also, very exciting. Last week we did Nugget of the Week, and we're doing it again this week. So Joyce Finnegan won Nugget of the Week last week, smashed it out of the park. The way you win Nugget of the Week is you put the funniest comment in the comments.
Relevant to what we're doing, not just like a joke.
Not just a joke.
No, it has to be relevant.
Yeah. And so Joyce was really funny. Yeah, I don't know if she's watching again tonight, but she did. She had us both off, in fact. And she got herself a prize for that. But so tonight, you could be Nugget of the Week. You throw the best comment in, and tonight we've got not only your very own nougat for you to take, we'll send to you in the post, but also...
That's because we can't afford cups, especially after having no YouTube channel.
We've only got one cup, and Joyce, we give it to Joyce, but we didn't let her keep it. No. It's like the Premier League trophy. You have to give it back.
You have to give it back.
And so tonight, what you're getting instead is a nougat and a copy of my dad's book.
Yeah.
My dad is a published author. There you go.
Yeah. Why aren't you a published author?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
It's words, isn't it?
Maybe your dad.
There's lots of words in there.
There's a lot of words.
So it's great though. This is a great book.
Yeah.
It tells dad's life story. Tells about his journey, faith, and all that. So it's a really good read. I can recommend that highly. And so our Nugget of the Week is going to get a nougat,
a nugget,
and a Living Without a Safety Net,
and a book. A book.
It's a good price.
Not a book.
A book.
What do you say?
I say book. You say
it's
book. Book. Okay. Come on then, let us know who's in. Let's see who's in tonight.
We've also got while you're doing that, we've also, if you've got any questions for Tom's dad, then please put them in and we'll try and pick them up as we go, rather than wait until we get there and then no one can think of any. So when we get to talking to him in a bit, if you've got any questions you'd like to ask his dad, maybe it'll be about Tom. Who knows? But let's have a laugh. But you can put them in the comments and we'll see what happens.
Throw them up there.
To say.
Great. Dawn's in. Dawn Molyneux. Welcome, Dawn. Lovely to see you. Jenny is in. That's Emma's sister. So it's great to have you with us.
Hello, Jenny.
Jenny. Let's see who else is in. How did... Tao's... I'm just reading Tao's comment. I always have to screen Tao's comments before I put them up on the screen. So Tao said, how did you ask 110 people if you had 100 followers that you picked? 133.
Come on,
so we were smashing it.
We can ask all of them.
Emma's saying, great book. Great book. Yeah. Dad's book, I'm assuming.
I'm assuming, because you haven't got one.
Mark's in from Waterspoons. Nice to see you.
Waters.
Pete's in as well. Even Hope's watching. So it's very good. Yeah. It's nugget, not nougat, Tom. Stop betting a Tory, he said, but I think he means being a Tory. We don't get political on this podcast, but I do have to say, if you haven't seen on my Facebook account, when I came into the office this week, someone had slandered my name.
Everyone's blaming me.
Yep.
But I wasn't in. And that's not my writing. My writing's far not as neat as that.
Far not as
I would never, you also know, I would never use a blue pen. Because I've got this thing about blue pens where I can't use a blue pen. If I use a blue pen, my head blows up. So I have to. It's always a black pen, never a blue
So
pen.
what was the note saying again? It was basically
Tom's a Tory.
Tom's a Tory. That's what it said. And if you don't know, if you're watching from down south and you don't quite know the ramifications of that,
that's like the worst insult you can get.
That's the kind of thing that could
get you killed.
Get you killed. In fact,
they don't even have Tory councillors that stand around here for the elections.
It's not even a
pointless.
thing, is it?
The Lib Dem stands and the Greens and people like that, but Tories don't even bother.
And so it's not something to be joked about, really.
No,
it's dangerous.
It is dangerous. I think we're going to have to call the pack off because, like, he's not a Tory.
No,
he's not. I can vouch for him.
Thanks,
Tom's
mate.
not a Tory. He just can't talk properly. That's what's up with him. He's learning the lingo, but it takes a while, doesn't
that's
it, to pick
coming
the
from
lingo
you
up?
because there was a word last week. Tom can't talk properly. There was a word last week.
Innovative. Yeah, I've smashed it. Smashed it.
You've been practicing.
No, I'm still fuming that we
week.
didn't win that competition. Still looking at that and wondering how we're going to pay for it. No YouTube channel now, neither. So I'm fuming. I'm absolutely fuming that we didn't win that Baptist competition. I can't believe it.
Okay, let's not bring that up again. Chris is in.
Let's bring it up.
Because Joyce is fuming because the credit card, we've got another week closer to the end of the month there for that credit card bill. Chris is in. Chris and Pete are watching.
Hello.
And she's saying, hi, is Tim a Tory? Like I said, we're not getting into it, Chris. Chris, we're not getting into it.
I think we should leave politics out of
Let's
this.
leave
because
it well
because
out.
if he is, he wouldn't end up on the wall, would he?
He would. I mean, he wouldn't. Do you remember when we had John Rogers in and he was a policeman?
Yeah, a busy.
And people started calling him a busy. And they got all like,
and they were like, nah, get
bottom.
bottom.
That's it. Darren's in.
We're quite a welcome space, aren't we?
We are. We
try to be.
welcome, yeah.
You know, anyway,
Darren's
Darren,
in. Do you know Darren? Darren said, nice to have you with us, Darren. Joyce is saying, have you lost any more money this week? Joyce, we haven't bought any more equipment yet, but it's coming.
Hang on. What's that?
Oh, yeah, don't tell her about that. That's why I've hid it behind the laptop there. We have got another little thing here. But you didn't pay for that on your credit card, did you?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Here we go. Tao saying about this note on my desk. Innocent till proven guilty. Get off your witch hunt. By the way, it said pass it on too. Very good. Very good.
I think Tal's in the frame for that.
She's in the frame for that.
Massively in the frame for that, Tal.
Miriam says that's bullying. Miriam, thank you for your solidarity with me. It's
Miriam,
great.
It's not bullying. It's banter.
Banter. Very good.
Banter's the new bullying, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, look, Joyce.
It's just banter, mate.
It's just banter.
It's just banter, mate.
So Joyce is fuming as well.
What's she fuming about now?
Well, just the money, I think.
She's just fuming.
That's the thing. I think I've told you that before, haven't I? I've told you
that
about
age she's got to. She's just fuming all the time.
Don't honestly. If don't start, Al. Do not start. The
She's
other
not
thing.
watching.
Yeah, she is watching. She's commenting.
Nah.
The other thing that the banter thing up north, and Jenny is watching. Emma's sister, she know because she lives down south, but up north. So I found since I come up north, Emma said that I had to get used to banter because what it really means, if people banter with you, they like really like you.
Yeah.
Which, if that was true, I've always said this, then Emma's parents love me. I've always said this. But I always have that little doubt in my head that maybe, because I don't know, what do you do if you don't like someone? You're not kind to them.
No, you don't talk to them.
Okay.
You just sort of give past them. That's not just short with them and that. You don't really talk to them. Don't really acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Not like when we get new people at church and I don't talk to them for 3 months. Because I'm thinking, well, yeah, they love it now, and then in 3 weeks' time, no one will be here. So I'm not even going to learn your name. What's the point? I leave it up to you because you're a southerner. You're
nice and friendly.
Nice and smiley face. Me, miserable northerner, been here for years.
Tao's saying, she's confirming this. She says, we only have banter with people we like.
Is right, Tal.
And so that's right, isn't it? So, that's very good.
That's
what, and Debbie's saying the same. Debbie's saying, you blank.
Kind of a bit of banter, although it's the worst thing they can call you.
Yeah, I know.
And I think we should call the dogs off, yeah.
I know. People are calling me Tory Tom.
Because he's getting shouted at. Yeah, Tory Tom was a shout this week.
That's catchy, that, isn't it? That's the
Tory
problem.
Tom,
Tory Tom.
He's getting shouted at across the street and in church. And
I've all about the nicknames. I've got Tory Tom and Tim
Tom's
Brown.
A Tory. Tim Brown.
Tim Brown, which is...
Tim Brown. Tim Brown.
Tim Brown.
You need to explain the Tim Brown.
In case you don't know, you've not watched before.
Yeah.
if we go to the local snooker hall, if we fancy a change of scenery from Finnegan's, we go to the local snooker hall.
Yeah, because we can't. There's no snooker hall, no snooker table in here. There's a pool table.
Pool table, but we haven't got the snooker table yet. That's for next year.
Next year.
And so whenever I go, without fail, I will say, and this has happened to multiple different people working the bar.
This is brilliant.
And every time I go in, and when it's my account, so when I'm setting up to play pool, they say name on the account. I say Tom Grant.
And they go, what? Tom Brown?
Tom Brown without fail. So what the last time.
So now he goes, Tom Grant, Grant.
So, and this happened last time. I went in, Tom Grant, Grant. They looked me in the eyes and went, Tim Brown. So I think someone, if I go in next time.
Honestly, I've never primed them. I swear, I've never primed them.
If I go in next time and I say Tom Grant, Grant, and they look at me and say Tory Tom, then I know I'm getting stitched up by someone here.
Well, I can't help that, Tom. And the people speak. What can we say? You know what I mean?
Jenny said, see, Jenny, this is a thing, see? Jenny said banter is almost non-existent down here. I think that's true. Do you know what? We're just polite to one another.
No, you're just boring. Sorry, Jen. I mean, sorry, Jen, but you're just boring.
Well,
you ignore each other all the time, down there.
Here we go. Chris has said, Alan, laugh out loud, Alan. We just thought you didn't like us.
Who's that?
This is Chris. So now we're on trial to see
Tom, because I've literally said I don't remember the
very
names.
good. That's funny. Come
on, Tom.
Very good.
It's good if you have to explain it.
The number of people I have to tell you who they are on a Sunday morning.
No. Oh no. I'm not having that. You set me up about 4 times now. Gave me the wrong name. You've literally gave me the wrong name. So I've gone, I'll just say John. I don't know. Yeah. Hiya, John. And they go, my name's not John. My name's Alan. And I'm like, and I just look, and you're sitting there laughing, and I'm just looking at you going, oh. That's not the only time you set me up. Set me up loads of times, you.
It's fun. That's really
fun.
That's
banter, though.
Well, I'm getting the hang of it, aren't you? So you're proud of me. Yeah. This is Chris saying, now we know we're on trial to see if we're hang around. Can't believe we brought you a holiday present now. So, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
See, Chris has been for months now, so I think she's in. And also, she brought us some nougat from her holiday.
She brought nugget. Chris, what did you buy? You bought nuggets in
Chris.
Come on. Tell us. Nugget. It's not nougat at all.
Here we go. Wait,
where are we?
This is great. Darren, this is wisdom. Banter is part and parcel of the famous Northern hospitality. I think it is true. I'm getting to grips with it. I just can't tell if people really don't like me, then how do they?
You'll know if they don't like you.
Okay.
They'll punch you.
Okay, very good.
That kind of happens as well.
And then Emma referring to the whole thing where Alan doesn't speak to you for months. Emma said, Chris, I thought that too when we started.
I'm just not a nice person. I mean, I can't.
I think
I've got to own it.
People don't believe this.
No, I'm really shy.
You're shy.
I'm really,
you are very shy.
Socially awkward.
Yeah.
So if I go into a room where there's strangers, I literally won't talk to anyone. I'll literally just get myself in the corner, hide out the way. My wife hates it. You know what I mean? And I won't talk to her. So if I meet people new, I don't talk to them. I just don't. And I'm not being rude. I'm just being me. And then if you hang around for a bit, like, then I get used to you then, and then I'll talk to you.
Warm up.
I mean, Nick in the shop, he was like, I don't think he could take me at first, because
no, he definitely didn't get you at first.
But he's warming to me now.
He is warming. Yeah. And Chris is saying she bought nugget. Oh, brilliant! I love chicken nuggets. That's great, Chris. I look forward to eating those.
They'll be cold.
They'll be cold now, won't they? She's been back for a week. Tom's dying to say nugget.
He is,
but he's too deep in with it now. I'm sticking to it. He's
learn the lingo, Tal, hasn't he? You know what I mean?
Very good. Anyway.
Very
good. Are we? We've been building today, haven't we?
We have been building today. Yeah.
Just before we get our guest on.
Yeah, we started Tom's extension today.
Started my extension.
Yeah, but he typical Tom. He gets you there and goes, "Oh, mate, while you're here, mate, could you do this as well? Oh, mate, if you get a chance, can you do this as well?"
So there's still a couple of things on my list yet. If you didn't, I'll surprise you with that tomorrow. So if you don't, Alan's a JCB driver.
Oh,
wow.
Did you not know?
Well, I know you'd said stuff,
but you just thought I couldn't do it.
Well, I got on and had a go, and it was my brain just was malfunctioning. I couldn't do it.
I've seen the aftermath. You should have seen his front garden where he tried to dig a bush out. Honestly, looked like a pig had been rooted.
I got the bush out.
Yes,
Took
you
most
got
of the front lawn with it.
Nearly took the streets electric out as well. There was like scoops gone everywhere. I was thinking there was only one bush. What's going on here?
So my Eden was at home. Okay, this is another thing with children. Okay, so my Eden, he got me. He got me today again with a sick day. So he's coughing and all that, coughing in the night. He plays the long game. He'll set an alarm, wake up at 4 o'clock and just start coughing. Say, Dad, I've got the black lung.
He's clever, that lad. He's clever, that lad.
Then he wakes up in the morning, he's having a right bother and, in all sorts of... And I'm thinking, Emma said, just get him into school. He'll be fine. And I always feel like, oh, no, I'm softer.
He might have man flu, mightn't he?
Yeah, so
Emma's got no idea what that's like.
And so I said...
talk about giving birth. Man flu.
Exactly. Well, let's be careful here. And so I said, basically, okay, Eden, you can have the day off school. As soon as I said that, I went upstairs, came downstairs. Hope had got a karaoke machine for her birthday the other day. There he is singing. Like dancing and singing in front of the karaoke machine.
I'm staying off school.
And so he's there. And to be fair, he's quite a good helper. I might keep him off again tomorrow. He was wheelbarrows back and forth. But apparently you turned up and he said that you came up to him and said, how's your dad doing on that digger?
Yeah.
And Eden just went, not good.
He did. He literally went, it's not good.
It's not good. It's not happening.
And then you said to me, will we be able to get these stumps out, mate? Because they're not coming out.
And yeah,
very
good. Hang on a second. Later. Dawn. She's saying, I went to school with Alan. Do you remember Dawn from school?
I can't remember the name from Facebook, Dawn.
I went to school with Alan. He was quiet, but did have his banter and funny moments.
Quiet.
Yeah. So he's always been the same.
Yeah.
Always been the same.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I
made that. Sorry.
Go on.
Just before we go over.
Go on. Yeah.
I've made that. You know when you're going out for a drink.
Yeah.
Like we are tonight at Finnegan's. But
crazy.
Yeah. I made that faux pas thing of having a curry before I went out.
Yeah.
Not good.
Do you know what? I'm glad that you can't
smell them.
Yeah, because I can always tell what Alan's had for dinner. That's for sure. So so I'm excited tonight because we're gonna get over to our guest of the week, and it is none other than my amazing dad. So welcome, Dad. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
On the applause, please.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. It's great to have you with us, Dad. Thanks for coming in.
It's good to be with you. Yeah.
He was helping us today.
Dad was helping us as well on the building site.
Right, roped everyone in.
So I'm doing an extension.
He's doing an extension, and basically his budget's about 40 quid.
I bought you some Diet Cokes today, so it's less now.
So that's 35 now.
And so, and also I'm doing a lot of the work myself, but the only issue is that I have no prior experience of building or any sort of practical skills.
So his poor dad going to be building an extension.
And my dad is one of those dads.
He can do everything.
He can do everything.
Anything.
Honestly, there's never been a thing that I've been able to find that he can't do.
That's what my kids used to say about me. My dad will fix it.
Yeah, well, you're the same. I think you're one of these people who can do everything. You just turn your hand to it all.
I can't.
Well, yeah, you can't. And then you're driving a JCB today and just like doing all that amazing things on it. Yeah,
well, I did that for years before I got this non-job that I've got now.
Yeah, well. So, has anyone got any questions for Dad? Let us know as they come in. We've got Ray saying hi, Tim Brown Senior, which I like. And I guess the question that Emma probably has mostly for my dad, which maybe she's never asked Dad, but Emma wants. She basically says she wants to ask Dad, how come when you're so practical, your son is so useless? So I don't know. Dad, have you got why can't I do stuff? Let's get deep into this now.
That's a really interesting question, Tom. I don't
what's happened?
You were never interested in doing anything practical.
Maybe.
Yeah, I remember you painting. We asked you to paint the garage door.
Okay,
and we had a Nissan Micra, a bright red Nissan Micra, and we came back from holiday, and Tom had painted the garage door and hadn't moved the Nissan Micra. So the garage door, fortunately, was red, and almost the same colour as the Nissan Micra, but the Nissan Micra, where it used the roller, was now covered in red splatter from painting the door.
Honestly, I remember the first week he was in church.
Oh, here we go.
First week
this
he
is
was
dangerous.
in church and he was lit. Oh, this is going to be a great
Bringing my
night.
dad in. This is just going to be
Absolute
getting
great
into
night,
me. Oh, is this banter, is it?
This
Does this
banter.
mean that you
Oh,
like
this
me?
is- yeah, we love
this
you.
This means you love me.
We
Great.
really love you. Trust me.
Great.
First week in church, he decides he's going to paint a door because it must have looked a bit scruffy or something, as most of our doors do in church, till Tim and the team fixed them.
That's it.
Right? But decides he's going to paint a door. Right? He paints the door. Bit ropey, but you know, it's cleaner than it was. Then, literally, he decides to wash the brush out in the sink. The sink, to this day, 7 years later, is still white. It's a stainless steel sink.
Yeah,
He
I
just
can
rubbed
believe
the
it.
paint on it. Rubbed the paint on it. There was paint everywhere.
The other thing that reminded me when you said about that Micra was that I think you went away one time and I borrowed it and I was parking and I tried to go in forwards and there was a bollard and so I hit the bollard and I didn't know how to get off. I was just like a new
you just
driver.
carried on going
So I just
forward.
carried on and just went the whole way down the side. And you know when you think like, oh, this isn't good. This is, you know, when you look at it and you're
You've got
like,
awareness.
yeah, I was looking at it and thinking, yeah, that's not going to polish out. And so what I did was I went to Halfords and I bought some red spray paint.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought this would
Just
would
any
solve
colour
it.
red.
So just red.
Not even the proper
No,
one.
I just
Yeah.
thought it will work. And so I went and I remember
Should have got the garage door paint.
well, exactly.
Just painted it.
Done the whole thing. So I remember getting down on a knee with the spray can and just that little thought, and Christians, we might say that's the Holy Spirit, just said, are you sure this is a good idea? That's how God speaks to me normally. Lots of things where he's
sure
like,
this is a
are you
good
sure
idea?
this is a good idea?
This is not going to go well.
And so I phoned my dad, and Dad was like, put the spray, put the
Step
spray
away
paint
from the
down,
spray.
step away, do not touch our car anymore. Do you remember that, Dad?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I do, very much, yeah.
I can't remember who paid to fix that car. It could have been me, could have been Dad.
We used to
don't
call
know.
that car the Deer Slayer.
The Deer Slayer. Oh, so this is another
this is a
thing
story.
about down south that people up north are pretty horrified when I tell them. But
Go on.
down south, you take a few deers out every year, wouldn't you, Dad? That's what that Micro was renowned
You
for.
did.
Well, yeah.
I never took one out, but you seem to take 2 or 3 every year.
I had, I think, a total of 4 deers to my name.
Like little tears crossed out on your chest.
Yeah, I did 2 in one go.
You're like Tom Cruise, aren't you?
That was,
Maverick.
on the way to the airport, I went over the top of one. Also, once when my mother-in-law was in the car, I smashed into one. That didn't go down too well.
I wonder why they... Yeah.
And the other 2 were basically, they were 2 babies. It was sad. It was
Oh,
like
you haven't killed
I know,
Bambi.
It was like Bambi.
Oh, no, Tom.
And I just remember they were both
Oh, you
like
didn't nick
that.
both of them.
No, well, there was a gap in between.
And
So
you
I
thought I can make it.
I can make it. So I was doing the speed limit, which
You were
was
doing what? You were
the
going to say
speed
60
limit,
then.
60.
Yeah,
which
that
was the
wasn't the
speed
speed
limit.
limit,
It was
but
the
you-
speed limit down south. All the roads are 60.
Oh, I do know.
Yeah, it's all countryside.
How come I've had a ticket then?
We give them to Northerners when they come
Yeah.
down to
I've
discourage
never
you.
had a ticket, by the way.
And so I'm coming along 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Slam on, emergency stop. Down south, we're told not to stop for animals, but I did. It's the kind of guy I was. So I slammed
Kill
on
Bambi?
and I did like a slide.
Were the kids in the car with you?
No, this is pre-kids.
Oh, okay.
And so I just remember them both, as I was sliding, through the middle. I thought I was going to make it. They both looked up, and then I connected with both
their
their
doe
heads.
eyes.
Both of their heads,
Oh.
one on each side. I'd like a
I'm
little
not going to lie to you.
round dent on either side.
That's horrible. You've
So-
really gone down in my estimations killing Bambis. Both Bambis.
Yeah.
Bambi twins.
Tao saying you Bambi killer.
Yeah. oh, honestly.
Emma's saying, one deer with me in the car. I still remember the startled eyes.
Yeah.
That was my
She has
eyes.
nightmares. Nightmares the girls got. Nightmares.
Yeah.
Terrors. Night
Yeah.
terrors.
Yeah. Okay. Very good, Dad.
Wow.
Well, I
Sorry.
think my dad has actually got one of. Here we go. Yeah, Debbie says they just tend to wander in the middle of the road and come from out of nowhere. They do. It's like they wait for the lights.
But everything's down south, haven't they? Oh, we just have deers wandering in the road. You wouldn't have a deer wandering in their old deer.
Well, no.
We haven't got deers.
No, you don't. No.
No. What have we got here? Stray dogs.
Stray dogs.
That's about it. Don't even see them anymore, do you? Remember you were too young, but remember in the 80s, was it like that down south? There was just dogs everywhere.
No.
Oh, the fires, there was dogs everywhere. They just roamed the streets. Dogs, just loads of them.
That's
honestly.
That's not a thing down south. We have beautiful deers, Bambis.
Okay, yeah, well, dead ones.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Roadkill. That's what you've got.
We have. Venison was on the menu, was it, Emma? And do you know what? This is the other thing that's interesting, and you know these bits of rules down south because there is a law which says that if you hit the deer,
you can't pick it up.
You can't pick it up because everyone down south knows someone who can butcher a deer. That's just classic. That's like, of course,
what we do.
Yeah, you just know. You know someone. So, but if you hit the deer,
you can't have it.
You can't pick up the deer.
This is why you drive around in twos.
So you go around in a pack, and you're always ready.
It's a convoy of deer killers.
So if I did when I hit one once, phoned my mate Kieran and said, "There's
a deer there, mate.
There's a right feast there.
Yeah,
help yourself.
Venison.
Drop some off to me."
Oh,
so it's very good.
I'm never going to get that out of my psyche. That the poor little animals. I run over a bird once, and it took me about 4 months to get over it. A bird.
Yeah, you could do.
Kill 2 deers.
My mate hit a pheasant once. I mean, this sounds bad. This isn't going to reflect well on me.
It shouldn't.
But we used to say, this is when we were newly past, if you hit a bird, because birds are really hard to hit. Pheasants didn't count. But if you hit a bird, you joined the club. It was just a club.
Which was called what?
Well, it wasn't a name.
The birds.
It wasn't a name.
Like greased tea birds.
But my friend hit a pheasant once, which didn't count because pheasants are stupid and they're really easy to hit. And he drove the whole way. And then when he got there, it's still stuck in the grill.
Oh, yous are horrible down south, honestly.
Anyway, right, well.
I'm going to ban the Southerners off this.
That's it. Here we go. Down south, Debbie said, that's my dad's book gone on the floor again. Down south, they were seen as the Queen's animals, but also if you hit and kill a pheasant, you can't pick it up. See, these are just, everyone knows these rules downstairs. And Ray's downstairs. Right. Upstairs, downstairs. That's how I see it. Oh, yeah,
that's what it is. We'll be the downstairs. Yeah. The Northerners are down in the servants' quarters.
It's a social thing.
Yeah.
But Ray knows the car behind can pick. Here we go. This is Jenny, because Jenny doesn't normally watch. She said lots of north-south jokes tonight. We don't hear them down south, though. Or maybe that's because we don't do banter. And they don't do banter. And Jenny is a northern person.
Jenny, they don't talk down south. You ever try to get directions when you're on the tube and like that? It's like you've just tried to mug them when you say hello. Hello? No, here, off me back. It's just like, honestly, there's something wrong with them down south. They just don't talk to each other.
I know. Will's in. Saw a dead deer alongside the Formby bypass. Will, why didn't you call me, mate? I'd have been out there quick as a flash to pick that up. He's got a crying face. Mike.
As in,
Mike.
A crying, not hilariously crying.
No, not like, ha, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Mike, no wonder the price of venison is too dear. Them lot down south are killing them all, going out in twos. And Nick is in.
Nick is in.
I don't know what Nick's just said. Pigeons.
Pigeons.
Have you killed pigeons, Nick? I don't know. I've missed a couple of deer in Suffolk, said Janet.
I've missed a couple.
She's missed a couple. She wasn't trying hard enough. She wasn't trying hard enough.
I've missed like every deer in Suffolk.
Oh, hang on.
What?
Hang on.
Oh, what's going on?
We've got Mike saying, no wonder they're so expensive, the price of venison.
Yeah.
Ray said, they're too dear.
Oh,
Ray. I'm actually, Ray, you could have won Nugget of the Week last week, but Joyce stole it from you. So I think you were the early front runner here for Nugget of the Week. Copy of Dad's book. Also Nougat. So,
Nugget.
Here we go. Right. Okay, so my dad, as well as being able to do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Anything. He is also had what I would say one of the most interesting lives.
Yeah.
Dad you can read in Dad's book. He didn't do well in school. Was told basically, you're going nowhere. You're not going to end up doing anything. But he's just had a really interesting life. So I thought, and I know Dad would say, but it's like kind of his faith that has kind of took him on this different path. And you sometimes meet some Christians and there's something, that point of becoming a Christian, there's like a massive difference, a massive change. And that was how it was for my dad. And so, Dad, I thought we could just ask you a little bit. Maybe you could just say about how you did become a Christian. Is that all right?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I in my early years, the 70s, we were
Look at us, Dad. Don't look
at
the
you.
camera.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tom.
That's
In
it.
the 70s, we were all short on money and wanting transport, and I bought a motorbike. And joined a group of other young lads with bikes. And we used to hare around the countryside. There'd be 20, 30, sometimes as many as 50 of us just driving around
Looking
together.
for deers. That's what you would do.
Look at to run over deers.
Looking
Like,
for
where
deers
are
and
they?
pheasants.
I would call that a gang. That's a
a gang.
motorbike gang,
That is a
Dad.
gang.
Very
Yeah.
naughty.
Well, yeah, we didn't think of ourselves as a gang. We thought ourselves as a group of lads going out and having fun. And I started going out with a girl, and we were regularly waiting outside this church building for her. And one evening, we just decided, the discussion went around, and all the people were saying, well, what would anyone want to go to church for? Now, I was brought up in a household that was, you went to weddings, christenings, and funerals, and we couldn't understand why anyone would want to be going to church so much as this girl did. Ultimately, one of the girls in the group turned around and said, I bet she's got another boyfriend at this church. That's why she's going to church. So the next week, I went to church to sort him out.
Yeah.
Give him a bit of advice and, tell him to leave it alone. It was the most boring thing I have ever been to.
Was it our church?
No.
Was it our church? Was it Emmanuel Baptist Church?
Was it Emmanuel Baptist church? Come on. Sorry.
I would have never gone again. But that evening, I'm dropping this girlfriend off, and her mum comes out. She said, Tim, can you come in for a minute? So I go in, and she said, I've been asked by the people at church not to bring you again.
Are you sure this wasn't our church?
Yeah, are you sure? I mean, that's a tip. That's a typical Scouse kind of thing. Tell a Scouse that they can't do something, and that's the only thing they're ever going to do.
Yeah, well, that was my reaction,
Yeah,
to be honest with you. Now, I don't know whether she said it because she knew what my reaction would be, or whether that was genuinely true. They'd asked her not to bring me again. So the next week, I got there early. I'd noticed some of the old ladies sat in the same seat every week, so I parked my motorbike in the graveyard. I sat in one of the seats where one of the old ladies sat. I mean, you've got to remember, I was wearing a leather jacket and long hair and stuff, and this lady came along and saw me sitting in her pew and was like completely freaked out.
Did you smell a petunia oil?
Probably, yeah, probably. And I just enjoyed winding these people up. And eventually, I started going around to the youth group, and I was a bit of a celebrity because I was the they were upper middle class kids, and I was the slightly dangerous kid in the group. So at that point, I was enjoying the whole experience, and they took me along to see this film about gangs in America. And I'm watching this film, and the guy is living my life. And as I'm watching it, my thought process is, how far ahead is he from me? And I reckon in the end, he's 2 or 3 years ahead of me. And at the end of this film, this guy becomes a Christian. And I'm thinking, this guy's living my life. He's become a Christian. And I remember driving away from the film on my motorbike and going, oh, God, there's a God. And in a moment, I knew there was a God. I'd never thought about Christianity. I'd never thought about God, but I knew there was a God. And the next thought that came to me was, if there's a God, he must have a plan for us. And I thought, I haven't got a clue what that plan is. So the Gideons had given us Bibles at school, and I went straight home and I opened it, and it opened to, I think it's Acts 3. And the first thing I read, they said to Peter, what shall we do? And Peter said, repent and be baptized. So I looked in the back because Tom said I wasn't very well educated. I didn't do well at school. And there was a little dictionary in the back, and it said repentance meant you had to turn around from living your life to please yourself and start to live it to please God. So I thought, okay, I can do that. And then the baptism, I thought, what's that? And it talked about, John baptizing people in the river. So I went to see the vicar, and I said to him, look, I need to be baptized. Well, he wasn't too sure about me to start off with. And when I came into his office and said I wanted to be baptized, he really wasn't sure. And then he said to me, were you christened as a child? And I said, yes. So he said, well, then you're okay. We'll confirm you. I said, excuse me. Now, I've read the Bible 18 hours before I've seen him. And I'm saying to him, excuse me, there seems to be some order here. It says repent first and then be baptized. I did the repentance last night. I want the baptism now.
Yeah.
Very good. I mean, that's like a total, like to go that worldview shift, isn't it?
In fairness, that's exactly the same reason I got baptized.
Yeah.
I read it. I read repent and be baptized, and I thought I need to get baptized. And everyone was like, "Why did you get baptized?" I said, "Because I read it."
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly the same reason that I got baptized back in the day, you know. So
and that like that worldview shift from like, I guess that sense of like there's nothing more than just us. It's just us. To that idea of suddenly being like, oh, like almost like pants. There's a God, like because that means a total shift of thinking. And I think some people do, like have that experience, don't they? Where it's just like a total like, oh, hang on a second. And like it
what
means,
does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean all of a sudden?
Yeah.
And like, and I guess for you, Dad, that's been, having, I guess, had a front row seat for 37 years now. That's meant like, what I would describe as like this incredible adventure that you've been on, and you've ended up doing like just all sorts of some like crazy stuff, but like fun
absolutely
stuff.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I believe that God has a plan for every one of our lives, and when I became a Christian, I read this passage in Jeremiah, and it said, "I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you a future full of hope." And when I was at school, they gave me no hope for my future. They said they wouldn't be able to educate me. They'd get me a very menial job, earning minimum wage.
Baptist minister then.
I still aspire to be one of those, Alan.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. We will just interrupt at any point. Sorry about that. Carry on.
That's all right. So, when God said he had got a plan, I thought, well, I need to find out what that is and get on with it. And from having no hope and no future, suddenly I had a hope and a future. I got promotion at work, which my boss called me in after I'd gone for this promotion board and said to me, "What's happened?" I said, "What do you mean, what's happened?" He said, "Well, I told everyone on the promotion board you were a bolshy individual and you should never get this job." And you walk in and everyone thought I was lying because you were this confident, assertive young man who was answering all the questions in a good way. He said, "What's happened?" And I said, "Oh, I became a Christian." And he just completely flipped out, and I got the promotion. And then I started running my own company, and then I went into partnership with another guy, and we had 2 companies. And then I had a computer company as well. So yeah, God just completely changed my life. And it all came by seeking to follow his plan.
Amazing. And I think, what you do now is, it's like you've got this big circus tent, haven't you? And which like sounds mad in and of itself. And we had it in Netherton one time, didn't we? We had a blast.
Yeah.
It was ace. Yeah. And you've travelled to a crazy number of different countries, told people about faith, but also one of the things I guess that you do, which I guess for people who have no sense of church or whatever, or have not been to a church or see things from a Christian perspective, you also have a particular gift, I would say, of praying for people who aren't well, and then God healing them, which is like mind blowing, isn't it? If you're one of those people who thinks there is no God, the idea of that is mind blowing. And so, like, talk just a little bit about that for us.
Yeah, I read the Bible and I realized that the Bible, Jesus taught about us ministering to sick people, praying for them, and that they would get better. And I didn't see it happening in the church, and people told me, "Oh, that doesn't happen anymore." But I couldn't see anything when I read the Bible that said it shouldn't happen. And to be honest with you, I really felt like God was telling me to start praying for the sick. And I didn't know how I was going to get an opportunity. And one Sunday, the elders of our church got up and said, "Oh, someone's asked us to pray for them, but we really felt that God's speaking to somebody in the church." Now, I was a bit like Alan, I would like to be in the background. I was shy because of my lack of education. I was insecure. And I had told my mate that I felt God was asking me to pray for the sick. Well, nobody got up when the elders said, would you come and pray? And suddenly I hear my mate, who was also a plumber, shouting from the other side of the room, "It's Tim! He told me this week!" Well, I could have died. I have to be honest with you. You know, he dogged me in. You know, and I had to pray
for.
I had to pray for this lady, and she had problems with her back, and nothing happened, and I felt devastated. But I prayed for her every day for 5 days, and on the 5th day, she was completely healed.
Yeah.
And all the pain left, and it was just amazing.
I noticed recently you were with Ian Andrews.
Ian Andrews.
Ian Andrews. I went to a conference, and he's like the same, isn't he? He prays for people to be healed and that. And he literally got me up on stage. I don't know, never met him. He got me up. He was basically saying, God can use anyone.
Here we go.
Here, I'll prove it. That's what he was doing. And he got me up on stage, and he asked me to visualize a part of a body, and I did, and I said it out loud. And he said, "Has anyone got a problem in that area? Come, and he's going to pray for you, right?" And this fella come, and he had stomach cancer.
Yeah.
Right. And I pray, and if I'm honest, it says the prayer of faith. You know, there wasn't much faith in my prayer.
Yeah.
When I was doing it, I was just thinking, get me off the stage, mate. Just get me off the stage. I feel terrible. Right? But I pray for this fella. Nothing happens. You know what I mean? Anyway, I went to the same conference a year later, and the fella was there and told me he got healed.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
I couldn't believe it. Because
Yeah.
I literally had no...
Yeah.
I had no faith in that. I've got to be honest. I didn't. He proved the point. You can use anyone.
Yeah.
Sorry about interrupting.
No, that's
again.
amazing. I do remember you saying to me once that sometimes you stop praying for the sick because people got worse.
Yeah, or died.
Yeah.
He died.
Anyway,
I'm probably the worst person ever.
if you see if Alan says he
Don't
wants
ever
to
ask
pray
me
for
to
you,
pray for you. No, honestly.
don't
gets worse.
swerve it off.
Yeah.
But Dad,
That's
on the
Tom.
other hand,
Tom or Tim. Yeah.
and so that, like, I guess the thing to touch on then as well, and we've seen, you know, I guess I'll just tell briefly a story from our family, because you know I was doing, I think Dad had talked about healing one time, and I was there and heard it, and I thought, oh, I'll give that a go. And my mum had lost her eardrum had been eaten away by like an infection, and so she was going to have an operation, and they were going to take some muscle out of her neck and put it in her ear. And so, you know, obviously, I think as a young lad, you think, I don't want mum to have that operation. And so I prayed, and again, similar to you, probably thought, this, you know, is this really, what difference would this make? Or, you know, would God listen to my prayers?
Yeah.
And then I remember mum going for the operation, for the pre-op, and as she went in, they looked in the ear, you know, and expected to see no eardrum. And then they brought in a couple of other doctors to check, but there was a brand new sort of eardrum in her ear, like fresh pink skin, and she didn't have to have the operation.
Fab.
And so, you know, we're just like, wow, like what's going on there? Like, and I don't understand it all. And also what I don't understand is ultimately, you know, we all die, don't we? And people do die, and people pray for people, they don't get healed. And I totally understand why people would be angry and suffering. It seems to be the biggest question. You know, why is there suffering in the world?
Why is there suffering in the world?
If God loves us, and that is it's a great question. And I don't think we should duck that question. So I'll get Dad to answer that.
Over to Tim.
No, but I would ask that. But, you know, not everyone does get healed, Dad.
No.
And like, what can you speak anything to that? You know, really.
Yeah, I think it is difficult. I believe personally that as Christians that we need to be, Alan talked about it already, we need to increase our faith. You know, when the disciples prayed for a boy and they couldn't heal him, and the father brought the boy to Jesus, and Jesus immediately healed the boy. The disciples went to Jesus, it says, privately, and asked him why they couldn't do it. And he basically said to them that their faith was small, that they needed to increase their faith, you know. And then he went about telling them how to increase their faith. So I think, you know, there are times when we just don't have the faith to do it. When we first started praying for people, quite a few people, they didn't get better. It was, and we lost 2 or 3 friends who died, and that was tough. It was difficult. But I've always had the attitude, there can't be anything wrong with God. He's the same God that worked through Jesus. So if he worked through Jesus and did healings and miracles, we should be able to see the same today. The thing is, we are the different cog, as it were, in the wheel. Jesus was in a perfect relationship with God and able to hear him and do what he said. And I think it's as should be our goal as Christians, when we fail, to come back to Jesus and say, why couldn't we do it? And learn from that.
Yeah, I kind of, but I kind of started getting to the point, because I used to pray probably a lot more than I do now for people in some ways. And it was the kind of the disappointment, not necessarily by them. It was probably in me more that made me back off slightly.
Yeah.
But eventually I started thinking, it's a bit like Dr. Pepper. What's the worst that can happen?
Absolutely.
I mean, the worst that can happen is nothing happens.
Yeah.
You've just, said some words to somebody and nothing happens. That's the worst that can actually happen. You stayed exactly the same.
Yeah.
That's the worst that can happen with prayer. So I started saying to myself, no, Alan, the worst that can happen is nothing happens to this person.
Yeah.
But what if? Because I've heard testimony, I've seen things myself. That fella in that conference, I had no idea, because he lived in Canada, and he'd come back the next year and mentioned it, and so it was like, I wasn't going to bump into him again, and he had no idea who I was, because he literally just got brought up on the stage as a scapegoat, probably. but I started thinking to myself, well, what's the worst that can happen if you get prayer? What's the worst that can happen?
And I found that if I do give it a go, if I do pray for people, and not, obviously, not nowhere near as many people would be healed. Seen some people healed, but nowhere near. And I think someone once said, if I pray for no one gets healed. If I pray for some people, some people get healed. But I think also just that sense that people feel comforted as well. And we would believe, praying for people, and from a faith perspective, is that God would bring some comfort, even if that a healing doesn't happen. And ultimately, I guess this is the thing that is mad as well, and Christians believe. And for people who aren't, don't have a belief in a God or anything, think this is just it. It seems like madness, but there's a genuine belief that when we die, this is not the end. That we're not just skin and bones. That there's something more to us, and that ultimately, God said that He's going to sort it in the end. Yeah. In the end, it's going to be all right. And
no more death, no more pain, no more sickness.
And so in that sense as well, I feel like that we can offer that hope. We can offer that hope even when we pray for people, and even for ourselves. Because I remember someone telling me once, life's a real, kicks. It's a real kicking in some sense. None of us get out of this alive. It's 100%. Yeah, we're all dying. But I guess one of the key things, and we don't like talking about death, especially on Britain's Got Talent during a pandemic. But
you like bringing that up, don't you? Hey, you really like bringing that up, don't you?
But we've got a hope, haven't we? That's what Christians believe, that there is a hope. There's something to life afterwards, and that's what
wasn't much life for me after Britain's Got Talent, mate. Just to look on Twitter.
Look at where we are now.
Oh yeah, we've
133 followers on YouTube, and now they've deleted us off.
1,000. 132. That's where we got to, mate.
That's where we got to.
Yeah, smashing life.
Anyway, let's see what people are saying. There's some really good stuff in there. We've got hello from Wills and Carolyn here Wills. For the first time. It's great to have you here. Emma said, this is why I wrote the song Be Healed. Yeah. And I'd go and check that out on Spotify as you, because that's Emma talking about wanting to pray for people, but feeling really scared to do so. And it's great. It's a great listen. Here we go. Let's see what else. Oh, Will says there's 7 of them watching there. I don't know what they're making of this, Wills.
It's got Snow White and the dwarfs out.
Hopefully they're enjoying it. If it's awkward, Wills, and they're thinking, what is this? Just bin it off, mate. It's fine.
I don't know who they are, mate.
I don't know.
Got no idea who these two are.
Very good. Here we go. Debbie said, Oh, don't. I was in the car with my kid's dad once. He'd asked me to open his Dr. Pepper and it shot all over me in my hair, my eyes and my nose.
Well, I guess that's the worst that can happen.
Yeah.
Some
Fantastic.
had to pay it to a boss, weren't they?
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
the
What's the
worst
worst
that
that could
can
happen?
happen? Next with the rolling on the floor, wrestling with the dad. Yeah, madness.
That's great.
this?
Jenny said, what's the worst can happen? So true. As long as the emphasis is that God loves them,
Yeah,
healed
yeah.
or not. And that's,
Absolutely.
I think, because I've heard some
Well
horror
said, Jenny.
stories as
Yeah.
well before where people have prayed and then afterwards they've said, oh, God's not healed you because he didn't like you or because you're sinning or because you're not got enough faith. And I'm like, the person's already sick,
Yeah.
and you're just making it worse.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
And I don't think that's ever
Well said, Jenny.
what's going on. So that's great, Jen. Really good.
Yeah.
And Chris is saying absolute blessing to listen to you tonight, Chris. It's
Yeah,
great
I put
to
that
have
one
you.
up. I can see that one. See the one I loved watching you on Britain's Got Talent.
Oh,
See
no,
that one?
I can't see it,
See
mate.
that one?
I don't know what it is.
I've got my good glasses on this week. I can see them now.
I
this
think
week.
you're seeing things, mate.
No.
Barbara's saying hello to Tom and Alan. Hello, Barbara.
Hello, Barbara.
When
we missed the crumpets, Barbara.
Barbara, if there's
Barbara, get down here.
Barbara,
you're
you
an
could come-
honorary member here.
So when we did some studying, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Barbara would
Believe it or not.
we studied. We did study.
We did do something.
And just to surprise you,
Yeah.
both me and Alan got first-class degrees. So there it is. Have that. A Baptist Union.
Yeah. And yeah, what was it?
What was it? What?
I can't remember the word again now.
Innovative.
Innovative. We're not innovative enough. No, but we're clever enough.
Yeah.
Tell you.
First.
Yeah,
Thank
first.
you.
Thank you.
So anyway,
Barbara.
we brought that up because Barbara made us. She would
used to
bless
make
her,
breakfast.
come and volunteer, make breakfast for everyone, crumpets. Oh, it's brilliant.
Top.
That was
Top.
probably what kept me going.
Soft
to be
lady.
honest. I don't
That's
think
the only reason I went.
that's the only reason we got a degree.
Huh?
You didn't finish yours though, did you? On that one.
Well, it wasn't MA, which was dead hard.
All right, I will put. It was another. They're like, oh, this is
Another
hard.
level. I couldn't do it.
Dawn did say, I loved watching you on Britain's Got Talent.
Oh, that's
Dawn,
the one.
Don't encourage him.
That's the one.
Honestly, don't encourage him.
I hated
And,
it. It was terrible. The first one I enjoyed, but the second one was awful. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. I don't think
I
anyone
was
else enjoyed
literally.
it either.
I went out with Danny and that at the
Yeah.
weekends, and
Go
I did
on.
a bit of karaoke.
What's your karaoke song?
I do a few, but I did.
Go on. Which one?
Well, I did Dignity at that.
Do you want to sing
point.
it? Do you want to do a little bit?
No.
Okay.
And literally, the fella got onto the fact of who I was.
Yeah.
So literally put that interview on all the screens around this karaoke bar. So as I'm just about to get off, he goes, I thought I recognised him, yeah, look. And he puts, and it's that one, you know. That
Alan
one.
Kate-
Oh, what's
yeah.
going on here?
So that was a little bit embarrassing.
Oh,
I'd
it was
imagine.
terrible. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I went, mate, you could have at least put the good one up.
Here we go. Look,
Anyway, sorry.
there's another one here.
What's
John.
this?
John saying, really great show tonight, guys. Really balanced, helpful. Love Tom's dad. He should be on every week. The OG, Mr. Grant. What does OG stand for? I hear it like as it's a really good thing. Are the original OG? I don't know. It's good though. It's a good
It
thing.
must be the original.
It is.
Yeah.
Dawn wants Nugget of the Week award. She's making a play for it with the kindness to you, saying,
Oh, yeah.
you were really funny. Well
yeah.
done.
You could end up with a nugget.
Yeah, you could do. Could
Yeah.
do. Miriam's just said, I love the song Dignity.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like Alan's
There's
version.
a man I meet.
Wait a sec, I'll give you a
That's
little
all.
bit. Go on.
No,
Do it
no, you're
again.
going to
Just
do
that
a
bit
funny
again.
voice.
No, I'm going to put some lovely echo on
Oh,
for
go
you.
on then.
Go on.
There's
The man I meet.
I couldn't resist.
I knew.
We've got to use this. We paid for it. It's on Alan's
Well,
credit
we haven't
card.
paid for it yet.
Right.
Anyway,
We've
so-
got stuff to
hang
do.
on.
We've got things to do. Go on.
How was it being Tom's dad?
Well, he still is my dad.
No, well, yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, okay.
He
So
might disown you after this.
how was it being my dad's dad?
What was it like?
There were highlights and there were lowlights. I wasn't a great dad, I have to be honest.
Oh, I fail to believe that.
Well, Tom was keen on football. I still don't understand football at all. You know, I was a rugby player. Anyway, Tom fell over on the football pitch and came off and says to me, Dad, I think I've broke my arm. And I looked at it and said, no, you haven't. Get back out there. Stop complaining.
Yeah.
And when we got home, his mum said, his arm is a bit swollen. Perhaps you ought to take him up to the hospital. So took him up there to the hospital and he'd broken both bones in his arm. But he played the second half of the football match with a broken arm.
Probably played better, in fairness.
Hey!
So, you know, as
He's
a
a
dad,
lefty, isn't he?
You know, that I wasn't a great dad, but then I remember we were in Bulgaria and Tom and his mate had come on this event we were doing. We'd got our big tent up and there were hundreds, you know, probably 1,000 plus Roma gypsies in the tent. And Tom's mate come running over and said, Tim, you need to come over here. And Tom and his mate had just prayed for this little boy who was deaf and dumb from birth. And now he was hearing and speaking. And I'm thinking, oh, they're a bit excited. And, you know, maybe they got it wrong. Maybe the translator didn't understand. Yeah. And then I saw this woman behind the boy crying, weeping. So
Tom has that effect.
I went over to her and I said, excuse me, what's wrong? Why are you crying? She said, my boy was born deaf and dumb and he's now hearing and speaking. And to be honest with you, that was a highlight. That him and his mate, I think they were 18 at the time,
You
just
didn't
went
tell us
for
that
it.
story, Tom.
Well, yeah. I mean,
You keep bringing Britain's Got Talent up, but you never told us that one, did you?
and I think that's the thing for me with growing up was that Dad gives
the
me
example. Yeah.
the example. Dad, it wasn't just faith was not just a thing where it was like talked about or not lived out.
Yeah.
And so it was a living thing. And I think that's the thing that kind of made me want to have faith was because I thought, oh, well, Dad lives it out, you know. And like in his, you know, oh, the book's good. Whoever's going to win this in for a treat.
Yeah.
But you know, Dad's when Mum was pregnant with me, Dad felt God was saying to give some money to the church, and so they didn't have that amount of money.
Yeah.
So they sold their house, gave the money to the church, and then knocked on the pastor's door and said, "We're homeless. Can we come and live with you?"
Now you know where I live now, so
That's it.
behave.
But that was it. That's out again. If you don't believe in God, or even if you do, that sounds madness, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds madness. But
It
God,
sounds madness if you do believe in God, to be honest.
But it was like that sort of, you know, whether Dad got that,
Massive
you know, right or not. It was stepping out in faith and trying to trust God and live this adventurous life, and that's what I've found as well. Like life isn't always great, it isn't always perfect, but it's an adventure, and we only get one life, don't we? So we might as well live it, have a bit of fun,
have a laugh, yeah,
yeah,
and a bit of an adventure, yeah.
We went a bit serious there, didn't we? Which is fine. That's okay.
That's okay.
Go on, Dad's waving at me. I don't know what he's. Go on.
Well, the positive side of that story is 3 months later, 1 week before Tom was born, we moved into a larger house in a nicer area of town, and the money we had given to the church, we didn't tell anyone how much we'd given. We didn't tell anyone that was the reason we sold our house. But in the 3 months between, we were given 2.5 times the amount back, which just came through our door in envelopes. And we were able to buy a bigger house in a nicer part of town.
Wow.
And we didn't do it for that reason.
Obviously.
But God sees. And he did prompted people just to bless us.
Wow. Great question here from Tao. She's saying, Tim, do you ever wonder where you'd be without God? That's an interesting question, isn't it? It is an interesting question when something has so shaped your life.
Yeah.
And not obviously Dad's not like some people might say, well, if you'd grown up in the church, you kind of was brainwashed, weren't you, as a kid? Like so, but Dad's not had that. There was this clear point in his life, not from parents weren't Christians to then following God. So Dad, can you even think about how that would work? Do you like what life would be without God?
Yeah, because I know what track I was on that day when I realized that guy was living my life.
Yeah.
I know that's where I was heading. I was heading into a gang lifestyle of violence, of drug abuse, and I probably wouldn't be alive now. Several of my friends that I hung out with them were killed in motorcycle accidents quite horrendously. To be honest, I saw one. And, so I don't think I would be alive now, probably. I would probably have died from drug abuse or in a motorcycle accident of some sort, or been killed by somebody else because of the violent lifestyle that I was getting into.
Wow.
Question.
I mean, a great question. Any other questions, throw them in. And we've got time for a couple more questions.
We're starting to run out of time now, aren't we?
Shall we move on for a bit then? If you've got another question, then throw it in, and we'll come. You know, if it's good, we'll come back to it. If it's terrible, we'll ignore it. That's just what we do. But anyway, so it's time for our new bit.
Yeah.
Our new game. And we still haven't recorded the thing for it, and so Alan's going to do it on the fly. You ready, Alan?
Yeah.
Do you want the countdown?
Go on.
It's time for
Finnegan's Fortunes.
Perfect.
Mate.
Oh, go on.
Mate.
There it is. Worth every penny, Joyce. Worth every penny. So it is time for Finnegan's Fortunes. And so, Alan, explain the rules while I try and get this up.
Well, it's basically, if you watched Family Fortunes back in the day with Les Dennis, not Vernon Kay, because Les Dennis was truly the better one at it.
Apparently, OG means original. So Les Dennis was the original.
He
the
was
OG.
the OG.
The OG.
I don't think he was. I think someone was in it before him. But anyway, never mind.
Right.
But he's the one synonymous. Is that a
Don't
word?
try.
Anyway, we asked 100 people.
He
We've
shoots, he misses.
We asked 100 people a question, and they've given we've got the top 6 answers. Have we got on there?
Yep.
Yeah, top 6 answers we've got, and we're going to ask Tim the question, and he's got to guess 6 answers to win something from. That'll be church merch, mate. Church merch. Yeah, he's got to win something from church merch, which, don't forget, Tim, hashtag raise horn is still there. So,
there's all sorts back there, Dad. There's a copy of Emma's album, first and second album. There's also the guitar with 1 string.
No strings.
No strings.
No strings.
Has it got
attached.
1 less string than it did have before? Or it's always at 0?
I think it had none all the time, Tom.
Got a hat there. You've got Jamie Carragher's autobiography. You've got the TV is still there, which you can have.
We had to stop John Rogers.
John tried to take it off the wall.
He literally did.
There's all sorts there, Dad.
There's a clock, a Disney clock.
Disney clock, stop-go sign.
There's a big teddy bear, yeah.
Did you nick that stop-go sign?
No, I found it.
Found it?
It's in the church.
That's you can't...
It was just lying there when I came in one morning, so I had it.
Okay, all right. So, Finnegan's Fortunes, Dad.
Yeah.
Are you confident? How are you feeling?
Not so confident. But I would like the stop-go sign.
Yeah, okay. It's
for my office.
It's yours. You can have it. No? Okay. You've got to win it. Okay, we can't break the rules. You've got to win it. So let's see. Finnegan's Fortunes. And we thought, Dad, as we've been talking a little bit, haven't we, tonight, about father's son, parenting, we thought we would say...
to settle down.
Is this dignity
Just
again?
relax.
Is this
Take
dignity?
it easy.
Oh, you're
You're so young.
Ronan Keaton now.
That's your fault. There's so much.
Just stop. So, you can help us with this at home. Okay, so we asked 100 people. It might be 110. It might be 100. We shall find out. We asked 100 people to name a reason your parents might ground you.
Ooh.
So, could we have your answers, please, in the comments? And we're going to see.
When he loses 2 lives, we tell him your answers, don't we?
We do. Well, yeah, we'll let people know. We've got here that Elijah's kicking in at home. Elijah thinks it's unfair that you have to get all 6 answers correct in hashtag Finnegan's Fortunes.
Elijah, that's why you're not in charge.
It is a high bar.
It is.
But
has to be. Play your cards like it was hard enough. Never mind.
Did who? What? Someone did win.
We only had
John
2
won.
winners. We did, didn't we? 2 winners. That was it.
That's good.
The whole series.
Okay, so there's lots of answers coming in.
Okay. So we've got
John Edwards put. We asked 100 people to name a reason your parents might ground you, and John Edwards put for killing deer.
I mean, I don't know who he is, but that's
John,
nugget of the week up to now.
That's brilliant. That is nugget of the week so far, mate.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay, Dad, we're going to come over to you then, and we're asking you for your first guess. We asked 100 people to name a reason your parents might ground you, and you are going for...
They didn't get in on time.
They didn't
get home
Staying
on time.
out late, all that type of stuff.
Staying out late.
Well, let's...
Okay. This is quite tough, isn't it? Okay.
We asked 100 people to name the reason their parents might ground them. You said staying out late. Our survey says... not a good start.
It's not a good start. It's not a good start.
Hashtag raise horns.
Safe. Good. It's safe again. Okay.
Dad, I actually think no one's ever going to win this. I think your Elijah's got a point. But never mind.
That's all right. Go on, Dad. Give us another answer.
We stopped go boards on the go here, which wasn't part of Church Mates, by the way, but, he's definitely not going to win.
Dad, come on. You can get one. What's it going to be? Tell us for the second one. Finnegan's Fortunes. We asked 100 people to name a reason your parents might ground you, and you're going with...
Bad behaviour?
Bad behaviour. I'm trying to help you here, Dad. I'm trying to help you. I want to help you.
I told you I wasn't hopeful.
Bad behaviour. All right, do you know what?
Our survey said.
Wait a second. Don't do it so quick because I'm not.
Come on.
Give me a
Can't
second.
get the staff
All right.
here.
So you said bad behavior.
Bad behaviour. Our
And
survey said. Oh, no.
I've been so kind there. I don't really think backchat is the same
been
thing,
kind.
but I wanted.
Steve's going to be fuming.
All right, I've given you that one, but there's no more help. Okay, so next one,
Back
Dad.
chat, that was.
Back chat we gave you
chat.
for. So
Bad
back
behaviour.
chat.
We'll-
Tom never backchatted.
I never did
he
any
was-
back
So
chat.
I didn't
Yeah.
experience it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the problem here.
Because they've had such a good son.
I've never been
You've
grounded.
got a sister, though, as well, haven't you?
I've got a sister. She's the black sheep of the family.
Is she?
She's really let us
I
down.
actually thought she was the one.
She let us down.
I thought she was the favourite, to be honest.
She's really let us down. She's a vet.
She's a vet, yeah.
She's,
I mean,
loaded.
imagine being a vet. She needs to be a vet in your family, doesn't she? Killing deers. She couldn't save Bambi, could she? Hey.
We don't want her to. We want to eat Bambi. We'll save it.
No wonder
But-
she became a vet. The trauma
Yeah.
of living down south, just mowing through things all the time.
Well, not all of us could
Anyway.
be Baptist ministers, so she's ended up a vet, and
Well done.
we've had to live with it. So, right,
Oh, it's
okay, all right.
Oh, what have you done?
1 second.
You've done it again, haven't
All
you?
right, Dad, I'll come to you. Let us know what your next answer is. What are you thinking?
Is it the same question?
Yeah, it's the same
it's
question.
Same
Always the
question.
same question.
Cool,
Take your
this is
time, because
fine.
Tom's
Six-
lost it.
Take your time, because I've
Yeah.
broken it.
Any
Lying
sense?
to
Oh,
you.
we're back up.
Do you want some help?
No, not
Oh,
yet.
go on, wait. What did you say there, Dad?
Lying.
Lying.
Lying. Okay, let's have a look.
You said lying?
Wait. I've messed it up, so I just need a second. Give me a second. This is new technology.
Put some elevator music on while we waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, here we are.
Wait a
Number
sec.
6 we had.
Yeah, okay. So you said, Dad.
You said lying.
Yeah.
You said
Our
lying.
survey said
Our survey said
lying.
There
Top
you go.
answer.
Top answer, Dad.
That
Top
normally gets a woo,
answer.
woo, woo, and you get a prize, but not in our game.
Not in our game. We
No.
get some applause. There you go. Well done. Okay, Dad, we're going to be quick about this now.
Yeah, okay.
We asked 100 people to name a reason. What's your next answer going
Bad
to be?
language.
Bad language,
Oh, he's-
Dad. Surely
he's
you think
smashing
he's
life.
on.
Come on.
Here we go. You said bad language. Let's
Our
see
survey
if it's there.
said
It's there. Swearing. It is there. Swearing. Okay. We are flying now, Dad. You've got a chance for the
Is there a
stop.
mirror behind us here?
You've got a chance for the stop go
Has he
sign.
emailed you the notes?
Well, that's it. We've got
many have we
on
got
that
left?
stop go sign. That's all
You've
we
got another 3 left.
You've
to
got
get.
another 3 to get. So let's
Oh.
see. You've got 1 wrong. You've got 3 more to get. Let's see. What are you thinking for your next one, Dad?
Reasons why you'd.
Always the same question.
Yeah.
We asked 100 people to name a reason your
Question hasn't
parents
changed.
might ground you. It doesn't change. That's the way Finnegan's works. What are you thinking?
Traditionalists.
Oh man.
He's
So
looking at my
you've had
glasses.
lying,
He's
you've had
reading-
swearing,
reading my
you've had
glasses,
back chat. Why else could you get grounded?
What else could you? Not playing too much computer.
Playing too much computer. Let's see if it's there. Playing
Our
too much
survey
computer.
said-
Oh,
Now
right.
we can give you some
We
help.
can give
out
you
of
some
here.
help now, Dad. Okay,
Wow.
so let's go to our comments. Let's see what everyone's saying. Nikki saying,
Nikki
why
saying
might
what?
you get grounded? Pushing your brother in the canal. That is strangely specific.
Yes.
That feels like
that
might be
happens.
something. Not cleaning your room. Will saying riding a motorbike to church.
Will, you ride a motorbike to church?
Does he? No, this is
Oh,
a
it's a
different
different
Will.
Will.
This is a different Will.
Oh, okay.
And Miriam says not going to church. Here we go. Debbie says cheating on a test. There's lots here. Let's see. You've had swearing, haven't we? Reviving, dear. We've got loads here. Loads here. What are you thinking, Dad? There's a few
I'm
helpful
thinking
ones
bullying your brother or sister.
Bullying your brother or sister.
I'm going to be generous. Our survey says
Oh, yeah.
fighting.
Yeah, that's the same.
I think that's okay. I think
Yeah.
that's okay. What do you think?
Fighting with your brother or sister. Yeah.
Yeah. The Grants are ganging up on you,
Aren't
aren't we,
they
Dad?
just?
Another reason. Do you want another reason?
Yeah, we need
Of course
another
we do.
2.
That's how the game works.
Trying to sell fireworks at school.
Easy now. Easy now. That seems strangely specific
That
as
is
well,
specific,
doesn't it?
yeah. Our survey said selling fireworks at school. Our survey said
It's not there, unfortunately, and we'll never know.
Raise horn, say. Do you want to? Would you like to explain that? Because it seems really like there was something there, like a bit of pain.
We don't need to explain anything.
Why not?
Oh, let's just move on. People need to go home.
We got a phone call from the school.
Pipe down, please.
We got a phone call from the school that Tom was from other parents that
the shame.
Tom had been selling fireworks to them. We said he hasn't got any fireworks. How can he be selling them? And then we found out that his cousin had given him these French fireworks.
French ones as well, like illegal ones as well.
Yeah, to
The
sell
bangers,
at
they're like
school.
sticks of dynamite. They're amazing. I wish I still had them.
That's the time he was grounded.
Yeah, that was the
That
time.
one time.
That was the one time I was grounded.
Not killing Bambi. No.
Not killing Bambi.
Killing Bambi was all right. Killing 2 Bambis.
Yeah.
Bambi twins. That was all right.
Do you know what? I
Selling
have
fireworks.
vivid memories because I was making a killing on these fireworks and I felt like a bit gangster, you know?
In our school, they used to sell car radios to the teachers.
Do I need one more?
No, you're out.
You're out. You're done.
You've lost.
You've lost.
I've got another answer.
But what would it
Go
have
on,
been?
what
No,
was it?
wait a second. Is this just your way of saying bad things about me?
Yeah, carry on. Well, I reckon
Breaking bottles in front of policemen.
No, you're
Breaking
making it
bottles.
sound really bad.
What? Oh, Thomas.
I mean, how
you're
have you
killing deer.
Yeah.
You've got illegal fireworks going on, selling them on the black market.
I
right,
knew.
To vulnerable children who've got no idea what they're doing with them. You could have blew their arm off or anything. And now you're throwing bottles at coppers.
Do you know
Not
what?
at coppers, no.
Well, yeah.
My version was better.
It was one of those times when you get caught doing something like, you know, like, I don't know if God was like stitching me up. I don't know what the theology works for that, but we were all kicking bottles onto, it sounds really bad, like
that's
onto a
'cause
car
it is
park thing.
really
I don't
bad.
think there was any
A
cars.
car park thing. We were kicking bottles at cars.
Yeah, and so all my mates did it, and then
Yeah.
they're kind of heckling me to do it. And I just remember running up, and as I pulled my leg back, my mate just went, no!
Top bins.
And I connected, and as I turned round, there was just 2 policemen there, and I was like,
So did the police bring you home?
taken home by the police again. Why is it always me? But I ended up a Baptist minister, so you can't complain, can you?
No.
Very
It's
good.
his life.
Okay, right, we're moving on now because this is a long one. It's a good one, but it
we'll
is
have
a
to-
long
we'll
one,
have to
and
go
we're
soon.
aware that people have got things to do, people to see. So, do you know what we've got a little bit for you?
Tom's top tips.
Tom's top tips.
It's Tom's top tips.
Again, this is people's favourite section of the podcast, so we can't.
It's slowly becoming mine, to be honest.
And do you know what? Sometimes, you know, sometimes it just feels like I've just Googled them and copied them off Google.
Yeah, it
But
does. It does sometimes feel like
It
that.
does feel like that sometimes. but
It's because they're so profound.
honestly, I know. I don't know what happened. Like,
No.
Dad, how did I end up so wise? Wisdom beyond my years.
You followed my example.
Yeah, no, all right.
There you go.
All right. I'll set him
Like
up for
father,
that.
like son.
Set him up for that one. And so, okay. Anyway, Tom's top tips today. We've been talking about parenting. We've had my dad in. He's obviously singing my praises.
Yeah, top child.
Ended up the minister, sister vet. And so, my sister's birthday is on at Christmas Day as well.
Oh, come on.
Just like Jesus.
Oh, come
I
on.
know, she's smashing it. Not only is my sister going to look after my parents in their old age, I'm hoping she's going to look after me as well.
She'll have to.
She has
There
to.
won't be any pension.
There's no Baptist pension funds.
His
Gone,
pension
innit?
went bust.
So, right. This is wisdom. You're going to love this. You are going to love this.
I'm loving it.
Okay,
I'm loving it
here we
already.
go. Tom's top tips.
Yeah.
We have to prepare the child for the path. No, hang on a second.
I didn't think that sounded right then, Tom.
Path.
Path.
We have to prepare
Path.
the child for the path,
Ooh,
not the
it's one of
path
the Scouts.
for the child. Do you like that?
the
Can you
path.
think about you probably
For the child.
the level? I don't know if you get the levels, but
I'm
if you
not-
thought about that this week, it's going to drop like a penny, and then you're going to be like mind blown. I wish I'd known this, all those years ago.
Yeah. We have to prepare the child for the path, not the path for the child.
Yeah, profound. And the other one is, it's not what you do for your children, but what you teach your children to do for themselves. That will hold them in good
I like
stead.
that one.
That's good, isn't it?
Like, teach them to make their own stuff.
Yeah.
You know, their own dinner.
Yeah.
To do their own washing up. Yeah. To do their own cleaning up.
To build their own extensions.
To build their own extensions. Your Eden was nearly more useful than you today.
Do you know what? I can't argue with that. That is probably fair. I was looking, we were both wheelbarrowing at one point. I was looking over, he's got more stuff in the wheelbarrow than me. I thought, this isn't right.
Come on, Dad, get out the way.
Yeah. Anyway, that was Tom's top tips. You got
Tom's top tips.
You got any advice, Alan? We haven't had Alan's awful advice for a while because...
Advice.
Well, people don't like my awful advice.
Well, I feel worried that it's a hard time for people at the moment, and then
I'm just making it worse.
You are.
You know, so I'm reluctant to give any awful advice, to be honest.
Parenting advice, though.
The only advice I can, and it only works for, well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't only work for us, me and you, right?
Go on.
So grounding your kids, it's really hard to ground your kids, and you can't take they've got everything they want on the phone. You can't take the phone off them because then you can't find them when they don't come home from school, can you? Mm-hmm. So it's just a nightmare. You got to let them have the phone and that. And I came up with a perfect idea, and any one of you can do this. You don't have to be a Baptist minister like me and you.
No, okay.
Right? You get on eBay, you buy yourself one of them dog collar things with the Velcro around the back, right? And
that's what you did when you went on Britain's Got Talent.
That's exactly what I did when I went on Britain's Got Talent. Like 20 quid on eBay. Brilliant, right? And the beauty of it is then, you don't have to take the phone off them. You just threaten that you're going to put it on and walk down to their school gate, right? And then shout through the railings, Rachel, Becky, hurry, we've got prayers. And then threaten to sing Kumbaya as you link arms on the way home. That used to work every time because they knew I'd do it. So get yourself one, eBay, 20 quid.
Very
20
good.
quid, little tabard thing. Dog collar. Sorted.
Perfect.
Just sorted. I've sorted something. That wasn't even awful advice. That was brilliant advice.
You're bad, lad.
Who am I'm bad.
Well, it is that time, okay, and it's the final thing.
Yeah.
You've still got chance to be our nugget of the week to win my dad's book, but also in our final section, Dad, what happens is you get to tell a story, and if people love it, if me and Alan thinks it's brill, if Klopp, we have
Been quiet.
a chat. He's been quiet recently. It's because you're rubbish now. And we have a chat. And if the story is brilliant, then what happens is
Get him on the wall, lad.
Yeah.
get him on the wall. That's what happens if
Yeah.
it's a brilliant story.
It can be just the whole episode.
It doesn't just have to be the story. Yeah.
We don't want to put all the weight on the story.
But
But
if it's not, if you think, actually, do we want
do we want
Tim to be part of Finnegan's?
Do we?
This is a very, very exclusive club.
It is.
We're very picky about our membership.
We're very picky.
We are.
You have to fit in.
You have to fit in. And
Yeah,
so if we think, nah, do you know what?
Yeah.
You've come tonight, but not again.
Yeah.
You're bad, lad.
It's your bard, lad. And so we ask everyone to help us vote. And so people at home, you can vote. As Dad tells the story, if you think, good, yeah, actually he's been a great guest, then we're going to put him on the wall.
Yeah.
Got the pen ready. But if you think no good, so you just put wall in the comments.
Wall.
If you're not sure about these Southerners,
Taking over.
how many Southerners do we really want up here?
Yeah.
Then you just say bard.
Coming up here, buying all our houses.
Yeah. Making us build extensions. Then you just say bard. That's all you say.
Yeah.
So there's no favouritism.
Bad.
Yeah. It'd be good if Dad was in though, because he could buy me drinks.
We like him, don't we?
Yeah, go on.
like
Go on, Dad. All right, anyway, tell us this story. Let's have a think.
Okay, well, this is from way back. I think I was 22. Kim and Tom's mum and I had just got married, and I went out on a mission to Sri Lanka. And we went off, it took us 18 hours to get there. We arrived in Sri Lanka. We were there for a month. And while we were there, you know, being blonde, I tanned and I got a really dark tan. Mm-hmm. And my hair was completely bleached out, so it looked almost grey. And we were going to some quite rural areas of Sri Lanka, working amongst the poor people. And we walked into this village. And as we walked in, people started staring at us. And then people started getting down on their knees and
was
sort
David
of
Dickinson.
doing this with their hands, And people started coming and bringing presents. But it wasn't to the whole team. It was only to me. And we're wondering what's going on. We can't work it out. The guy who's leading the team doesn't understand why I'm getting the presents and he's not. And we finally get an interpreter to come over and tell us. And they tell us that they think I'm a god.
Wow.
Because I've got such dark skin
Yeah.
and I've got bleached out blonde hair. They thought it was grey. So they thought I was of immense age. But I looked so young. I was 22.
It's a bit like you, that, isn't it?
It is.
And
They don't worship me like round here, but there is a sense that I do look like a baby
People do think you're a god.
baby
don't they?
face.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
Tim.
they basically thought I was a god come down from heaven.
Wow.
And the only way we could persuade them that I wasn't was that I had to take my shirt off and show that I had white skin underneath my shirt, at which point they were hugely disappointed.
Wow.
That's what you had to do on the YouTube channel, take your top off, isn't it?
Well, we nearly had to tonight for the other 1,000 followers we had, didn't it? Hey, you've got a lot to live up to, Tom.
I have.
I mean, as you said, you've never been mistaken for a god. I mean,
It's not happened.
I was
mean-
mistaken for an angel as well.
wow. See?
Wow.
I mean, what happened to you?
I don't. Well, what happens?
What happened to you?
I don't know.
You've only got that fella who loves your legs.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, great. Let us know, wall or bard.
Wall
or bard. What's it going to be? Or is it going to be?
Get him on the wall.
Is it going to
lad.
get him on the wall, or are
You
we going to have him
bad
barred? Let's have a little look at the comments as we go in. Let's have a look. Who's there? Who have we got? Oh, great. Carla's watching. Lovely to have you with us, Carla. Fantastic. Let's see.
Carla, yeah.
Dawn saying your dad is fab. He is. Nikki saying wall. Tim Boxer. He is saying on the wall. In fact, he's saying wall. Defo the wall from Will. Let's see what else. Get him on the wall, lad. From
Put him
Ray.
on the wall from
On
Ann
the
Higgins.
wall from Ann Higgins.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is. Do you know what? It
looks unanimous at the moment.
Clean sweep here. Wall from Nick. Definitely wall from Janet. Very good.
Who's that? He became a Baptist minister instead of on the wall.
No.
What's that?
Marks is saying he became a Baptist minister rather than a vet instead of a vet. Well, I don't know if I could have been a vet, Marks.
Well, no, because
I
all he
killed
did
too
was
many
put
animals.
things down.
I killed too many animals. Anyway, it's a bad habit I'm trying to get out.
Let Tom mind your dog. Hey.
Very good. On the wall. It is. It looks like it's
looks
going
like
to be
we've
on
got
the
another
wall.
member of Finnegan's.
We have got another. Nelly says wall. Fantastic.
Thank you,
And
Nelly.
so it is.
Get him on the wall, lad.
Get him on the wall, lads.
Here we go. And I will.
Get him on the wall.
Where are we going? Here. Let's
Anyway,
go over here.
let's go
with
there.
Steve.
Steve. Tim. Fab.
Exclusive member of Finnegan's now, Dad.
Yeah.
Very good.
Means you can come anytime you want.
Overwhelmed.
Anytime
You are.
you want.
That's one of your greatest
We'll
life
have, to,
achievements.
we'll have to give this a bit of a finish, but we've got nuggets of the week before we ring our bell.
Nugget of the week. Do you know who
You
I?
can ring my bell.
Do you know what?
Sorry.
I didn't think I had that voice effect on, but your voice was awfully
I'm just doing
high
it now.
there.
I'm just doing
So
it.
for our winner nugget, can I pick it? Can you get
Yeah,
the
you
book?
pick it.
Can I get you get the
I'll
book?
get the book.
You get the book. I'll
get
stay
the
here.
book. I'll stay.
I am gonna go for, and I saw the comment before. Oh, there's a couple that have been good. Dawn, you've been brill. Dawn, do you know what? We're going to do two. We're going to do... well, Dawn, do you know what, Dawn? You're not Nugget of the Week, but I'm sending you a book, Dawn. So, Dawn Molyneux, you're getting one of Dad's books. He said we can do two. And the other one I'm going for is John Edward. John Edward, you are our Nugget of the Week. So, you're going to get some nougat and a book. And
Nugget.
The winning comment was we asked 100 people to name a reason your parents might ground you, and John Edward went with killing deer. And I love that, John. That
John
was
Edward,
brilliant,
yeah.
mate. You
We
are
need
our
to find
nugget
out where they live
of
so we
the
can
week.
send them
John, drop us a message. We
And
will
Dawn,
get that to you
drop
straight
us a
this week.
message.
Drop us a message where you live. We'll send those off to you and send us a
private
little...
messages on Facebook or something. I don't know.
You don't know. Stop saying words. You don't know what the
I don't
technology
know what is
is.
going on. You'll have to explain it.
We'll
to
do
me.
it. Just send us a little message. I'll post it. We'll get a little picture of you. Do you know what? It's been great, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It has been so good tonight.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Time does fly by, but it's been great. I've loved it. Dad, thanks so much for coming on. It's been really good.
Yeah, thanks,
We've
Tim.
really appreciated you being
Fab.
on.
That's great. I just don't understand why you keep on calling nougat nuggets.
Oh,
Hey, you should have said that
you shouldn't
earlier.
have
To be
said
well
that.
on the wall quicker.
No, he said the other way around. He said, why are you calling nougat nuggets?
No, we never.
He did.
Yes, he did.
Oh,
did.
hey, I tell you what, where's that pen?
No.
That could be instant dismissal.
Oh,
Just broke the bylaws.
See, what happened was you are starting to believe it's
No,
nougat.
well, I'm not.
And so you heard
No.
it and your heart
No.
said yes.
No.
Your heart
not
says
at
yes.
all. No. There's rules, you know.
We're back next Wednesday. Alan's not here,
Who's here with you?
but I've got the OG Mikey coming to co-host with me.
Mikey's
and I've
boss.
got Mark Williams with us, who
Mark
is
Williams,
a
comedian.
great lad.
Yeah.
Really funny comedian.
Yeah.
He's coming next week to chat to us. He's going
I'm
to...
driving to Kent or somewhere.
Alan will be on the middle of the motorway going to do a gig that he's getting no money for.
Yeah, about 30p for or something, yeah.
But we will be back for Finnegan's. And so
Smashing life.
come and join us next week. And do you know what I
You
want
can
to say?
find us,
Go on.
Spotify, Amazon Music, not YouTube at the moment.
Not YouTube,
No.
but we're trying to
We'll
sort
try
that
and
out.
sorting that out.
But
you know.
also, you can do us a massive favor by sharing this video tonight, liking it, commenting on it whenever we post anything. If you're on TikTok, we're on there. We're on Instagram. We're on the lot.
We're
You
on
can do us a
everything,
massive
except
favor.
YouTube.
Except YouTube.
And we're not very innovative.
No.
No.
We're
still-
not. That's,
I'm still fuming.
I'm fuming.
Still fuming.
I'm fuming. Joyce is fuming.
Yeah,
we're all
yeah,
fuming.
We're all fuming.
So, fuming.
the light's fuming.
There you go. Well, thank you for joining us, Alan.
you
No, I
ring it.
can't do it. It feels
Why
wrong.
can't
You've got to do the bell.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's been great to have you with us. Drop us a little comment to say goodbye. And we will see you again next Wednesday for another episode of Wednesday Night at Finnegan's. God bless you
God bless.
and goodbye.